Yes, my family, I am here again and getting ready for work tomorrow. And the kids will be taking some assessments because they have finished the third module in our math book. So as I sat here preparing for work tomorrow, I know we're getting ready to have a meeting with some parents, and the thought came to me, well, before the thought came, I was talking to Christopher and his wife this evening, and talking to Grayson, listening to Grayson, playing with them, and brought back such fun memories of when the children were young, and even though I was a single mother with them, how we did. I made time to play with them. I was kicking ball, I was shooting hoops, I was jumping rope, I was doing all the things I could do that I used to do as a child, where I was carefree and just wanted to be a child. And so I created many opportunities where those things were afforded to them without disrupting other people's lives. People would turn up their noses at basement apartments, but at the time I lived in an apartment building in New York very briefly. It wasn't something I enjoyed because your children couldn't make noise. They couldn't walk too hard on the floor. They couldn't do they couldn't be themselves. And rightly so, because disrupting other people's lives wasn't a nice thing either. So I made the choice to rent. At the time, it was a huge two garage space in the front, and the apartment was behind. You walk through the garage and then into the next part of the house. But the entrance was actually at the back, so if you come through the back, you would come in, and there's a door that would have locked to the garage area. But I didn't look at it that way. We used the garage entrance to go in. It was dry in there, it was spacious. We had two bedrooms right behind the garage there, and as I said, that entrance was coming from the back section. But everything opens up into one. You had access to everything. And we had our kitchen, we had our nice big bathroom, I actually had an office space, because that's where I opened my daycare, because we had so much space for children to just run free, no one to say, get them quiet. So that was a good thing for me, because raising children, you want them to not be cooped up and feel afraid, but you want them to be enjoy their space. And we did enjoy that space. But tonight, as I listened to Christopher doing the same things with Grace, and thank God they have their own home, so they're able to have him build his blocks and count them and knock them down. And I hear him talk about doing a remix to the Big Bad Wolf and the Three Little Pigs. And they were huffing and puffing and blowing the houses down. And I smiled, and I couldn't help but just turn and say, thank you, son. And thank you, Sheree. Thank you for giving your children, giving them something more than just a tablet to go on and keep quiet somewhere. Thank you for talking with him, playing with him, just helping him to grow up in a balanced way. And then after that, I had to start thinking about going back to work tomorrow and dealing with some of the behaviors. And the thought came to my head, and I started to wonder if bad behaviors in children are genetic, or is it just an environmental thing? So as you think about it, guys, please remember to leave a comment. Remember to like the video before you go. And remember to, if you have not subscribed already, please subscribe so we can grow the channel to get to 2,000 subscribers. So yes, I want you to also leave in the comment. What do you think? Are the behaviors our children displaying, are they genetic? Were they born with them? Or were they, it was just a product of the environment in which they are growing? Because my take on it is that a lot of times there's so much going on at home that kids become overwhelmed, they become stressful. And because parents like when children are quiet, and parents like to have time for themselves. Parents who become tired, and parents who did not bargain for families. It just happened upon them. So there were no plans put in place. There was no, how am I going to do this? Who will be able to support me? Um, who will help me to drop this one off at swimming, or help me to pay for this less program for him to go or her to go to after school. There was nothing in place. So they're stuck with these children in a small space. Um, every sound is being heard by everyone in the space. And so there's no structure. There's no structure. There's no dinner's ready, come on and have your dinner. There's no, put the clothes together, let's get the laundry done. There's no tidy up your room and keep your space clean, and, you know, learn to wash the dishes and keep your areas clean, because that's how we're going to stay safe and from germs and all those things. There's no structure. When if you move something, put it back, please. If you need to use some of these things, ask, please. Don't just take or touch. So there's just seem like there's no structure anywhere. No lot of kids years ago, they would say, oh yeah, my mom leaves some dinner in the microwave. Maybe it's half of dinner from Chinese food store. You listen to the stories, and you're not showing on your face that it's interesting, but you wonder, parents are young, they want to live their lives, and so there's no structure at home. And then we talk about, how rigid are they? Rigid is an interesting word for me, because rigid, some people misuse that word. But is there a thing where people know who is in charge? And then there's a follow through. Like, when I speak to you, you need to understand that no is no. And when I direct you or I guide you, or, things like those. Or is it just a sense of no discussions? It's what I say, and you do what I say at all times. Like, there's no conversation going on. And so children don't know the reason why things need to be done. People just like to tell kids, you don't do this or you don't do that. But they don't tell them that the reason why you shouldn't do this is because a lot of times when there are conversations and kids know the reasons why they shouldn't do a certain thing, then you find that you get more out of it. They understand. But when you just say, oh, don't do it, don't do this, without a reasoning, it can become a pushback at all times. And they get to school and you ask them not to, and it becomes an argument or a pushback. A lot of times, excessive punishment is, as I said, no discussion. Is just, you know what, I'm sick and tired of this. Go somewhere. Put the tablet down. You're not going to have it for another month or two. And it's all this talk, but it's empty talk, because 2 minutes later, the kid is out looking at them, and they are taking up the tablet and they're using it, and there was no follow through. Sometimes it's just a matter of anger that you throw out the punishment, and then it doesn't even make sense. So as we go on, and then we look at the expectations that a lot of parents have for their children. There's little or nothing. They don't care. They don't talk to them about what is it you're planning to do. All right, remember this is important for you to get to the next step. It's just they get up, they eat, they sleep, they go to school, they come home. There's no interest in their learning. There's no interest in anything that goes on, except when the kid says, "Oh, the teacher said," and it's taken in a negative form, and it becomes a big thing because it's just how it is. So as I thought about it tonight, I said, for me personally, I kind of think that environment has a lot to do with the behaviors that the children display. Um, Kids who have no structure, who has no, there's no established sense of worth and of accountability and all of that, then it's just a free for all for them. And so when they get to school, they're easily led because there's nothing, they don't have those good morals embedded inside of them that can lead them and help them to to disagree with people without getting angry, or to say no to someone who is telling them to do something wrong, or they don't have the foundation built. And because of that, you find that they come to school and they cling with the wrong crowd, and very quickly everything is out of control. So as we raise our children, and as we interact with people's children or our children, I am hoping that we can start changing some things, start making sure that the bad behaviors are less than the positive behaviors. I'm hoping that we can start building those little foundations that will be able to hold up the bigger things as they go through life. So, if I don't know if you will agree with me that the bad behaviors are learned behaviors, they weren't born with them, because children come to us in this world as a blank slate. And I think that that everything is being learned as they develop. And so whatever we put on those slates is what the children they have to work with. So I might be wrong, it's just my opinion. Might not be the right one, but it's just my opinion, guys. So talk to me in the comments and tell me if bad behavior in children is genetic or it's learned. So again, if you can't be good, be careful, but walk good, live good, do good. And as we look around and we see the children as they grow, let us remember that each one helps one or two or more. And we can just guide them. When they curse, let them know how unbecoming it is. That people who curse are usually people whose vocabulary is limited. So they don't have the words in their heads to have good conversations. So they use poor language to express themselves. As they go forth, when they do well, please encourage them. Please let them know how proud you are of them. You like what you see and hear, and they should keep it up. A lot of times when they know that people are watching, then they tend to do better if we've taught them. And so remember, parents, when you talk to the kids, please explain the reasons why. Tell them why they're not going out tonight. Tell them why they're not wearing that shirt or that hoodie or that whatever. Tell them the reasons why. And so that they can understand when we tell them, walk quietly through the hallways, it's not a punishment, but it's for security reasons. When we tell them to come to the class dressed in their uniforms, and it's not a punishment, but a lot of times when so many are gathered together, and if there's an emergency of some sort and people get separated, it's a good thing if they have something where people can say, well, they were in the school uniform, and people know what the uniform looks like and can reach quickly and find, maybe make some connections. So nothing is a punishment. We just need to tell them why they are doing the things they do. So I'm going to sign off now. And again, as I said, please leave in the comment, tell me what you think. My opinion might be wrong, I don't know, but talk to me, people. And so thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting this channel. I know it's a one-stop shop. We do a little bit of everything. And I'm hoping that something or some things make you want to come back again. Take care, my people.